Alrighty, came for a drive. I'm up the mountain nearby home. Coming up here today to just go for a bit of a walk around, go stumping. Brought the atlatl, boomerang, sling, and I brought a tracking knife with me. So I just want to do a small movie on the use of this knife. So I recently sold one to a bloke I served with in Timor. So I was training him to become a sniper, but he had a bit of an accident, a helicopter ride later, and he was pretty much, that was the end of that. Yeah, so he bought one for his son for Christmas. So yeah, it's mainly just a movie for him. So on how to use his knife. I also sent him just one of these little packs as well. So inside here he's got about 1 metre of cord, ferrocerium rod, a bit of fat wood, a little bag to keep it all in, and a whistle there for just in case. So I'll go through a series of cuts, safe way how to use a knife as well. Alrighty. So the first cut we're going to do is called a forehand grip. So you're holding the knife in reverse, gets locked up against your chest. The material that you do want to cut is held in there, and you're using your chest and back muscles and pulling apart. So this cut is quite powerful. It's mainly used for removing large amounts of material in one cut. So just making sure everything's all nice and locked in. You can angle the blade away from you as well. Don't point it towards yourself. And you take a fair bit in just one cut. Right, so the next one is peeling. So you're holding your material away, pointing away. The knife is held with the blade pointing away. And it's a straight, just pushing down to remove the material. It's not as strong as pulling across. This is more of a finishing, so you're removing a good amount but not as much. Right, so we got a thumb assisted push cut. So that's where we're using our thumb to actually guide the blade. So it's holding onto the knife, pushing on the back of the blade or the spine. You now can really control that blade and how much you're taking in one cut. Okay, the next one we're going to do is a stop cut. So it'll be better if I just put this down. Hopefully you can be able to see better what I'm going to try and do. So this one is called a stop cut. So with this, pushing in and just rolling a nice line across the timber. Maybe you can see that. So now I've got this line here. We're now going to use the thumb assist and push the blade to that edge of that line. Now it's starting to curl. So now we go back and cut the top of that line. Oh, sorry, cut through that line again. And you repeat this process until you get the desired depth. Pick this back up. Alrighty, so this cut is used for if you want to make tent pegs or trapping notches. You can use it for pot hooks, whatever you can think of. So I've just taken this down to a deeper depth. There we go. So start of a tent peg, or you can use it for a L7 trap trigger. But also with doing, so if you're doing a tent peg, you chamfer the corners. So hitting this in with a hammer or whatever rock, whatever you're going to do, it'll just save on the top from splitting and mushrooming out. Alright, so battening of timber. It's a knife. It's really not made to do the task of an axe. So, but then if this is the only tool you do have, the purpose of battening is to split timber so you can get to the drier timber inside for if you need a lot of fire. So again, with battening, I try and use this part of your blade. That's some hard timber. So battening timber, try not to go over the half the thickness of your cutting edge. So try and stick thickness of your wrist. You really don't need to batten anything thicker than that. Okay, the edges of this blade. This part here is designed to be used as a draw knife. As a tool you can pull toward yourself. This edge here, more of a small tomahawk, and up around this part here for skinning. You have the inside of the crook here. So this is absolutely perfect for making rounded edges if you want to do some feather sticking. So if you're going to be doing a spear or a dart or an arrow, so it's absolutely perfect for that because you can really just get in there and guide your blade. feather stick. Alright, so using this as a hatchet, oh, tomahawk, sorry. Handle's curved, so you don't have to hold the whole handle in a tight fist, because it's just no force in between, in this at all. So again, loose grip, so you're just rocking the knife between your fingers. So this cut, which I've also created, is called a beaver cut or a beaver chew. Alright, so to use this as a skinner, I don't have anything here to show you at the moment on how to skin with it, but this will be something you'll be able to pick up later anyway. So to hold this blade, using this curve point here, sits perfectly inside your hand. And just wrap your fingers and hold the blade. Notice I'm not holding the cutting edge as such. You're really choked up on the blade doing this, so it's you got full control at all times with it. So I'm going to use this point of the blade now as a draw knife. So I'm just putting the material into a sturdy location. This works really well if you have a piece of leather on a cord around your neck, because you can cut towards yourself in certain circumstances. But it does feel much nicer. You're putting your body weight onto this, and you are cutting towards yourself. So now I'm holding the knife with two hands and just drawing up. Alright, and there we go. So, even for those who do not have one of these, there's a lot of that you can just take away and use with. Alright, so I've got a throwing stick. It's slightly curved. It's made out of some polymer plastic made by cold steel. Could just say it's a boomerang, but it doesn't return. This one is purely just for hunting. So I'll put it down and see if we can smack this target. So you can see something like this thrown with a bit of accuracy will create enough force to break bones and stuff on small game. I'll soon knock out this thistle. Practice. Now I've just grabbed my darts, so we'll set the camera up and start throwing some darts around. So we'll see how we go. Try not to hit the bone. Where to put you? There we go. Alright, this is from about 15 metres. Something like this you really do have to practice. One went just over the top, last one just underneath. Righty, this is how I throw, the dart with the atlatl or boomerang, whichever way you want to call it. So this way works for me. I'm not saying it's the right way, it's the only way. I just found it easier for me to be able to aim and throw. So this part's pretty straightforward. Holding onto the handle, up here you have the spur and a knock. Pretty straightforward, and holding onto it. So I like to keep my legs a little bit over shoulder width apart, slightly bent at about 45 degrees to the target. So try and hold this a little above eye height, so then I can use the tip is in the peripheral vision, similar to how I shoot the bow as well. So I'm not actually using this as such as a reference if I was to gap shoot, for example. So throw and release, it's keep your shoulder low. Don't try and cock it or use your shoulder, put your shoulder into it. It's keeping it there, throwing your arm forward and down at the same time. Doing that will give it a downward momentum, putting all the energy from the weight of the atlatl or woomera through and pushes through the back of the dart. So follow through. So throwing forward, I found it easier to but be much more accurate when you're throwing the dart. You point at what you want to hit. So just throwing and point. I'll try and film it a little bit better than that. I'll just turn this around. I might have a couple goes at trying to line this camera up with me throwing. You probably won't get me first couple times. The last thing I want to show you is something that predates the atlatl, the boomerang, the bow and arrow, and it's a simple piece of string with a pouch. Now this crazy piece of technology is approximately 40,000 years old. Now I'm still playing with it and trying to find the right technique which suits me. Different ways to release, different ways to throw it. It's not overly complicated, it's just trying to find that little tiny thing which will actually work for me. Come around the corner here because I've been trying this with a tennis ball in the backyard. But the tennis ball does not have the weight as, say, a golf ball or a stone. And this is made for throwing stones. So this little piece of kit was also made famous by a young fella named David. So put this on just over the second last finger and you're holding the knot. Rock sits in the pouch. throw again. It slipped out. That one didn't work. And I need more rocks. So I just picked up just a couple of rocks here. Not cool. Yeah, this is really difficult. Trying to find the time where to release it during the revolution. So it's I know you got to throw the knot. You don't have to worry about what this is doing at the time. It's trying to get this in timing at the back and trying to throw the knot forward at what you want to hit. And that's the difficult part. Need more rocks. It's getting closer. And this is probably one of those skills you'd have to learn from as a child. In the desert countries that I've been to, it was mainly the child's job, or the male's job, to look after the flock. Where the women would be back at home. The blokes would be fighting. Yeah, some of the kids that I've seen with these, they were just absolutely incredible with them. Perfect practice makes perfect. So I'm getting around the deer. There's no rocks on target. This is something I do want to be able to use. Need a lot more practice. Just trying to find out where all these little kinks are and try and straighten them out. So in the meantime, yeah, a week away till Christ Mass. Have a happy, have a safe, have a fun Christmas. Get out in the paddock, throw some arrows around, throw some darts, throw some rocks. Just enjoy yourself. I really hope you got to take something away from this. Hopefully I'll get to see a lot of you in the new year. All right, enjoy.